Nobody should criticize Justin Trudeau for how he's handling NAFTA, right? That would be partisan, and we can't have that. That's a narrative that you hear in the media quite a bit these days, even from some conservatives in Canada, that, touching Justin Trudeau's administration handling of NAFTA is something that is just completely taboo and off, and that we, shouldn't be criticizing his approach to these negotiations. I have a slightly different approach and a viewpoint on this, and that is that Donald Trump being unpredictable in terms of negotiation is something that should not have come as a surprise to Justin Trudeau and to his foreign minister. That's something that has been a well-established pattern for some time. And if Canada's diplomats didn't point that out, there's probably a problem there. And this is why that's important. Justin Trudeau should have been spending the last 2.5 years getting Canada's economy ready for an unpredictable NAFTA negotiation. Here's what I mean. Canada is very closely linked in terms of trade and its economy when it comes to looking at ways that our economy can be more competitive, or how it depends on the United States for trade. So what boggles my mind is knowing that this negotiation was looming. Justin Trudeau did the following. He imposed a carbon tax on Canada, making it less competitive for manufacturers to do business here. In fact, for any of you to do business here. He imposed new taxes on small businesses. He raised taxes on small businesses. He imposed new payroll taxes. He changed the regulatory environment to make it more onerous and less certain for major resource projects. He has not helped the agricultural industry at all. I mean, the whole trip to India, he should have been looking at, for example, ways to get new markets for some of our agricultural projects. He's put Canada into a huge, crazy deficit and has added to our debt so much that we're now actually paying more in terms of debt servicing, which makes our ability to spend in times of economic shock. It reduces our ability to do that. Like, Justin Trudeau has spent the last 2.5 years putting every roadblock up possible to make Canada less competitive in terms of a place to attract foreign direct investments and create jobs as it compares to the United States of America. And what he should have been doing in that time period, knowing how important NAFTA is to the Canadian economy, is he should have been doing everything possible the other way. He should have been lowering taxes. He should have been lowering the regulatory burden. He should have been doing everything possible to give consumers confidence, to create more jobs. And instead, what we have is this framework of uncertainty that led to things like the Trans Mountain Pipeline effectively being canceled, and him having to spend $5 billion of taxpayer money to buy the pipeline with really no plans of where it's going to go from there. That's just one example of so many on how Canada's economy has become less resilient and less competitive as the American economy has gone the other way. Now, I don't think that the Americans are going to do what they're going to do with their economy. But we have to understand that we have, as parliamentarians, and Justin Trudeau has a responsibility as the Prime Minister of Canada, to make sure that government is doing everything possible to make our economy more resilient in times of uncertainty, such as what we're seeing with NAFTA right now. So, I don't buy into this media jargon that somehow my voice needs to be limited based on what Justin Trudeau is doing with NAFTA. I think it's really important for all of us as Canada to criticize the fact that the framework on which Canada's economy operates, all of those government interventions and regulations, have actually made our economy arguably a lot less resilient than it was 2.5 years ago. And so the impact of him, let's say he does screw up the NAFTA deal, the impact of that, or the uncertainty even that we're seeing right now with the American president being unpredictable in his negotiations, that could have, I think, been mitigated by Justin Trudeau having a little bit more foresight in terms of financial management, better financial management, and better policy to make Canada's economy grow. Those are things. So next time someone talks to you and says, talking about NAFTA, we can't criticize Justin Trudeau. Ask him, what kind of shape is the framework that Canada's economy based on? What kind of shape is that in right now? it's a lot worse off than when he came into office, when the Conservatives handed him a balanced budget. The federal tax burden was at its lowest rate in over 50 years. Our debt to GDP ratio was, all of those sort of metrics that we look at, like, they're all in pretty good shape. He's changed all of that, and he's made your life more difficult. He's made it less likely that you're going to take a risk and start a small business by creating a lot of uncertainty. Working hard for you in Ottawa. Have a great day.